I have much friends that said I love you in there because you guys are homes.
Yeah, and then my wife just woke up. Actually, I've been up twice since I drank that hot chocolate. But hey, that's the thing about hot chocolate. It makes you go to the bathroom. But that's what you want. I mean, as far as bathroom goes for your first one. But no, we were just sitting here, and I thought, well, we was having a conversation here. Like I said, me and my wife, we could have a conversation just about anything, and we don't, we just, we talk about things, but it don't get heated or nothing. It's just like I said, it's just I was telling her, and I may have not spelled the word right, but I said it's like reverse psychology. But I spelled psychology the best I know how. I usually don't spell those big words, but it's like I was telling her, you could go, I don't know what it is, but it seemed like all these years, and even going back to the kid days. Now, yeah, I stuck my nose out there eventually after I got out of high school. Got a few girls that, I was just lucky that I was on some of these sites that way. But generally speaking, just going out in public eye, if I was to go out, to the store, I was telling my wife the other day, just now, one day not too long ago, a few months ago, whatever it was, one of the daily people that's in the peg seen me sitting over there, and they was like, "You all right?" or something like that, or something. And I said, "Yeah, I ain't in the mood to do that much talking," or however I said it. I don't know. It's on something like that. And yeah, she just said something back like, "Well, I got you to talk to me." Well, it's not because I could have been mean, I look at it this way. I could have said nothing. It's not because you made me. I just didn't want you. And the only reason I did it, just so somebody else couldn't complain, and then go say, "Well, he didn't talk to me. He wouldn't speak to me." Why, and I could have given crap either way. I could have just ignored you because I have no ties to you. I do, however, honor the role of being a customer at places, not just grocery stores. And I try, when somebody does say hello or hi, something like that, or how our weekend is, I'll do what everybody usually does, and that's say that, and then I go on. It's like, and that's why I was telling my wife, that's always been me. That's never changed. Sometimes on a rare occasion you get somebody to talk, and you talk to these people, and they make you feel something that you don't usually feel for whatever reason. And sometimes they'll go so far as to make you feel a certain way, so then you want something to do with them, or that's not happened in a while. But we there've been a couple times where somebody will do that, and then they're like, "Oh, and then of course, I'm sure behind closed doors, they're like, "Oh, I wish I'd not done that now." Well, like I said, nobody understands what the situation is and why it would mean a lot if, we did get what we'd hoped for, and still, like I said, doors always open for that. But at the rate that my wife's going and the rate that I know I normally go, which in comparison, I could go just about anywhere and not have to worry about anybody speaking to me one iota. The other, some reason, and it's not her fault, I'm making this speech right now. I'm making this, clear. I don't hurt no feelings. I never said it was really her fault. But what it is, the opposite sex thing. She's not a guy. I am. They ain't gonna talk to a married man. And they certainly don't have no issue though talking to somebody else's wife. Especially other females. I seen one just come up in here not too long ago, running her little lips. And she was not needed, was not called for. And we know who that is, and I already talked about it enough, but she won't be seen around here anymore. But anyway, it's the whole girl fucking clique thing. It's like the fucking crack whore person we had up in here. She worried about all these other little girls. She's already had all her little fingerprints on them. Ain't no telling what she's done with them. She'd rather be out there do whatever it was with them and telling all her them stories that everybody up here, and me and my wife had to hear up here. And I just told my wife, I said, I don't know why, but it's like it's the thing you want the most, you never seem to get. But the things you don't want, like the little car rides, the little friendship things that people throw out, and there's been couples, there've been, I'm like her. I don't mind to talk to Roger or Christian up there at the store, say hello. Even Roger's been nice enough, that every now and then help us out with some things, a little bit. But, generally speaking, I try not to go over a certain boundary. They understand if we don't have the money, we'll pay them back, at a later date, as soon as we can. We've had a couple times where that happened. But, because father needs his medicine and all that. But I just know, I've always kind of, and I ain't saying my wife was like a social butterfly, but I'm just saying for some reason or another, it come apparent, I think, because of all the other places that she got to go, and she can't help it, It's like I was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and born, and not really, my family didn't do much travel. If they traveled, it was probably to work and back, to the store and back. I think, and I remember, Granny Diane and all them used to sit up and sell that fucking fruit shit all the time. Have this fruit stand business going. And it'd be fucking, feel like 100 degrees outside. A lot of times. And sometimes my mom would have somebody in mind, not every time, but sometimes she would think of somebody or ask somebody, she knows but most of the time I had to bear it. But there was a few times she'd think of somebody, some female or something to watch, which I wasn't no trouble. So, unlike I've seen some of these little brats, I knew how to behave, and I always did. I never gave anybody any trouble as far as what to expect out of me. I knew, that just goes to what I'm saying, though. You have to be raised up, and you have to be willing to go by how you're taught. These days, I don't think kids really get taught nothing. And that's not to say that school doesn't try to teach them something, but they need to learn their manners, things like that, need to do better. They can do better if they wanted to. Like I said, it's like night and day difference. It seems like we've had people from Hiwassee places, we've had people out and just out of nowhere. I find that every time, and somebody, all they have to say, that magic word, I didn't know it was all one word till I, first looked at Facebook, but it's all one big word. All they have to say is Facebook, and I know it's trouble because nothing good ever comes off of that thing. Because it obviously, like I was saying last night in a little bit of the video, that how anybody can just get on one of these sites, these kids, these underage people, and they have these, phones they shouldn't have with the internet and all this other crap on it. They always said they should have child-proof stuff. They definitely should have that, and there's no reason because the technology's there. I mean, the technology's ridiculous, but this would be something that I'd definitely be in favor of to keep kids off of stuff like that because they can get on there. Oh, it's easy to do. The only way that anybody gets reported or put on blast for anything is when somebody gossips on one of them social media sites and tells old Zucklebutt and his little minions on there get on there and they start trying to tell you that your account ain't no good and blah 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 and all that. Well, if it wasn't no good, I wouldn't be on there. If I was lying about who I was and what I was and everything else, it's like the reason that eventually, that thing got took down because they didn't like how I was saying some stuff and how I word things. It's like I said, I told my wife, I can't speak, I can't talk, because if I do anything, I'm gonna hurt one of her females' feelings because they, for some reason, like her over me. She's got a loud voice too. Trust me, I know. And she knows it. Because I have heard her before get loud. It might not be quite as distinct, like coming out like, like mine. It seems like it's more just, I've got my dad's, voice, and it didn't take much to get over a certain volume. He naturally couldn't be too quiet. But, a woman can get loud as well, and it's in their own way, but they get pretty loud. That and I used to work for Lisa. You could hear her from a mile away. She, but I don't know what it is either. I don't know. All I know is y'all got them. Every one of them that I've seen up here has got a mental problem. You mentally aren't tough enough to handle me. You can't handle any man then. Because men are going to be a little bit louder in those cases. Now, there can be a time, I guess, or two where a guy didn't have that kind of voice, but it depends on traits that he gets. But majority of the time, the men's going to have a pretty good voice. If we didn't have that voice, y'all be Y'all be complaining that we was too low. And you want us to speak up. So which is it? You couldn't make up your own mind. That's what you want. Just like if somebody out here today was to come out here and stop, probably my wife on one of her walks one of these days again. Probably like the other day that he's come out there because it's fucking, pretty out. And then they say something, get her excited like they always have. Bless her heart. And they say something and then they never follow through with it. It'd be one thing if y'all could do us a favor and fucking follow through with something. If I was going to stop anybody, regardless of what you look like on the outside, obviously that's part of the deal. I mean, that's just what your eyes can see. But if I thought there was something on the inside of you worth checking into, worth checking out, and there wasn't just all this drama and just all this, baggage of mental stuff going on in there, and just, acting up because you lost something, for example, or if you, like I said, it's ridiculous. Almost anything that you lose can be replaced, and everything. But I've seen so many things, so many offers. Not hundreds of them, but we've had enough up here, off and on for the last 10 years. We now know can't move anybody in here, I know, and that's the thing. It makes it a little bit tougher, but it also doesn't mean that it can't be done. It just means you would take somebody, obviously special. And sometimes, like I said, it just doesn't, everything it, I better like to do, like I said, me and my wife would like to have gotten out more and gotten to do things, but, due to the families and due to the sloppiness of all the offers that's come up here, whether they ain't got a way up here, they ain't got a car, they don't have anything, they don't have no money, but yet they know how to cause a lot of trouble real fast. Most of you probably speak to it. That's why you probably don't, most of you don't want to actually hear what I got to say on these videos, because I'm probably speaking to one of them right now out there that lives in a fairy tale land and thinks that everybody ought to be a drunk or a drug addict or somebody smoking a cigarette or doing something wrong just so we can say, hey, I've actually done that. That's how you act. Most of it. Good portion of it. You don't have to be that. I can look inside you and tell you what's wrong with you. And it's one thing I've always said, it's your mental problems up in your head. You got a chemical imbalance. It needs to be adjusted. And I know if y'all put it in your mind to do it, you could do it. You don't need programs. You don't need things written down on paper. You don't need another goddamn freaking female fetish woman sitting there listening to you talk. You could do it without it. You got people in your family you can talk to if you just fucking talk to them. They had you. If, I don't have anybody. Well, okay. Do what I do. I remember that one time when they fucking thought I was going to go up there and tell them all about, my dad's stuff. Oh boy, we got, my wife remembers this. Oh boy, they thought they had me. I'm too strong for this. I know exactly the type of music I like. I know the type of TV shows I like. I know the type of stuff my wife likes to do. I don't think she's had anybody come nowhere near as close as I have compromising on a lot of her stuff. You know, and like I said, she draws a line sometimes on some of the movies, and things like that, If some of her Lifetime movies are too much, she used to think she always had to watch them, and she'd come in here all upset, and I said, "What's the matter?" And she'd finally, I guess, after she'd been sitting there watching about, the whole movie, she'd come in here, and I always told her since then, you never have to watch a movie that you don't want to watch. I don't know who said she ever had to. Them people probably back in the day that she's trying to tell them all them good things about or something, or some of them crooked, Hawassi people or something, or whatever. Because they are crooked. They think everything can be fixed with, that's the thing. You have to be pretty messed up to think medicine is the answer to this problem. It's not. No paper, no adult, no caseworker can fix it. If the person that is in question can't, you can have some assisted help, but you've got to do most of the work. You've got to do it. You've got to do all on your own. You have to help someone help you so they can help. The thing you can't do, they'll help you, but you got to help yourself too. It's like that in crack whore I had up here. She waited till 15, 20, 25 minutes after I went in there and in the bathroom to then come in and tell me that, yeah, she needed to start taking responsibility for her bad choices and her stuff, that it wasn't our fault. And it was never our fault. If I could have went back and rewound that clock back, I wish she'd never brought that shit up. I would have been better off, my wife included, would have just been better off if she'd have just been a woman of her own accord and just let that stuff go. I wouldn't have cared one iota as long as she didn't have guns, knives, or or nothing like that. She could have come out different ways and said some things and then just put them away. But she made that the vocal point of her, stay here unless the kids were here. And like I said, it depends on the kids. It depends on who the kids, I've gotten along with either or. It just, like I said, it's, also probably depends on the person that had them, it just, like I said, there's a lot of factors that goes into why a lot of people won't be able to stomach me more so than my wife, because I'm not so easy to sit there and let y'all ramble on for a half hour. Carry on with something I know is bullshit. If I think it's BS, I'm gonna tell you it's BS whether you like it or not. If I can see that you're on the same page as I am, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna keep letting you talk because I know it's making sense. But the minute you're off the tracks and it's too much, I'm gonna have to tell you. That's a lot of today's problem. Everybody's worried about a lot of the other issues that could be.
Alfred just texted me and said I'm not allowed to talk to nobody up there and I'm not allowed to speak to anybody.
What is it?
Alfred keeps talking to me.
Who in the world are you talking about?
Not what I said. Said I'm not allowed to talk to nobody. I'm not allowed to have Gene and them. I'm not allowed to do
Well, okay. They wouldn't, you don't even work here. They don't even have your number.
He got it on my application.
Well, nobody, that's what I've been trying to tell my wife.
I didn't know the rules. I'm gonna have Gene and him. So Gene comes up to me and starts bothering me. I can tell him that he's not black.
I don't know where they can't, like I said, I have always said, he's not going to be in there at all times. And even if this, and I'm not saying it wasn't said, because obviously something has gotten done, or my wife would not be as upset she is right now. I'm going to try to explain this. It's just like I said, I can't help why people don't treat me the way they treat her. But I know why they treat me the way they treat me, because they know I'm a married man. And my wife would be, well, why? They know I'm a married woman. What's the difference? Because you're a girl, you're a woman, females have this problem where they think every other female that they think they can find out here on the street can solve their problem. And my wife, if I weren't here, probably would still have this crack whore up here, probably trying to solve her problems. Because I'm going to tell you something. People like that thinks that because I don't fit in the mold of taking those goddamn pills in relation to that fucking bullshit like I just got through talking about. She was able to kind of talk to that person because that's the only thing she had in common with my wife. She didn't have anything else in common with her to talk about. When I tried to go out there and get on a walk, she's out there speed walking way up ahead of us. I mean, anything else you brought up, you couldn't enjoy it. I like to sing. I like to do some music. I like to do all kinds of things. And if I can't feel comfortable, and I've said this before, and I mean it. I've never seen a woman make me so bored out of my head. I've never seen it. Well, I don't know why that anybody would be, well, he can't do anything about it. It's not his place. Just like if some old lady came in there hugging him, well, let's just flip the script, But what I was trying to say, is as minimal as possible. All these old farts down there. My wife likes to bring that Murray up and some of them others up out there.
I've known her for 12 years.
And I don't, and see, there's something. I don't know this woman personally. My wife don't know her personally. The only thing that my wife knows about this woman is they had a sick fetish over her fucking little damn brat sister over there. And she worked there for a can of corn and was out the fucking door, and because of that, her goddamn sister supposedly has cost this one over here a chance to get on over there because that's all they bring up. That's why she can't get a job down there because of stupid little brat. So there ain't one brat, there's two brats. I've got one on my side, she's got one on hers. That's what you get for hiring a goddamn teenager, Gene. That's what you get. Right, honey? That's what you get. You ought to hire somebody with some more experience. I can understand, teenagers, and I'm good in this subject because I brought it up. I'll talk about it on here. Yes, it is commonplace for a teenager at certain times, 15, 16, get their little feet wet. And maybe if they were smart, wise on their years in the way that they needed to be. No, it's all right. Look, honey, come here. I'm tired of hearing it. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Here, you calm down. All right.
My blood pressure go up.
Listen, It's not. Look, I've always said for her not to be talking to these people. You know, I never always said it. It's not nothing I hadn't said. It's
I know
just.
it's sweet.
But I mean, they can't do nothing about it. I mean, no, I'm not going to take them home with me. No, I'm not going to go the extra mile. As a matter of fact, anybody that works at the pig, I'm not going to take home, whether they're young or whatever. But you know, because I don't. But God dang, it's cold out there. But no, it's just it seems like, you know, people wonder why you can't be nice. Well, I think I'm a perfect example of that. My wife tries to show me how nice you should be and why it is good to be nice. And it's not that I didn't always know that. Back in the day, it used to kind of work. Like I said, there was a time back not long ago that it used to work in a way, but it no longer works. I don't care if you're talking about family. I don't care if you're talking about just somebody at school. You know, like I said, I used to have a few that would talk to me, mainly because I knew how to do all the work, and they were just too lazy to figure it out on their own. They just come up there and, you know, teachers, like I said, that stuff was so easy. You know, it wasn't that hard. The hardest thing for me to do was English. That, you know, that subject was always a pain in my ass. But, you know, but no, I just, yeah, it's just depends on people. Like I said, we had a certain thing in mind and hope that, you know, one day it might come true. But at the rate it's going, you know, with everybody out here, unless something changes, then I don't see that going to happen. Not because we didn't want it to, but it is getting to that point where it's not as, you know, it's not going to be quite as easy to want to talk to anybody unless you know what you kind of dealing with and what's in the, you know, and that they're on the same page as we are. Because obviously you can't be so nice anymore and just let them waltz in here and, you know, and sit down and enjoy it. You can't enjoy yourself. There's a time and a place for somebody to bring up certain things. And I just feel that if you people really want to get to know me and my wife as a whole, we don't have to talk about the bad things, or if we do talk about them, we can talk about them. And then we're not upset, but you know, we can have a discussion. But you people that I've seen so far have just disappointed. And y'all are why, I mean, y'all are why it's going to drive the wedge between what's been talked about. Like, I think y'all could talk about the worst subjects on the news and make that part of your day instead of something good, or going out and going to the park, going, you know, we can go shopping. Like I said, my music tastes is stuff that my wife, fortunately, was into. She didn't know that till she got to know me. You know, and most of what she likes is something I like. Now she, at times, will like something in the hip hop or something. I mean, I'm not that big on it, but you know, there's a few here and there people that occasionally comes through, you know, like for example, she'll like Usher, you know, or somebody like that, or one of them. And for most part, Usher, I just haven't, you know, I just never thought that much about him, or you know, he just kind of flied by the radar, you know, or something. I mean, and it's like I said, it's not because, you know, he's also the reason we have to hear this damn Justin shot with a BB person out here. I don't want to have to hear him cackling. See, people like him can make a goddamn video out here on fucking YouTube, supposedly. Get noticed by one of these fucking celebrities. And they can fucking hire him and he can get all kinds of fucking bullshit and trouble. And get, you know, it's cause, you know, and if that'd been anybody else, you wouldn't have got all this special treatment. I was looking up, while my wife was at church, I don't know. I said, I wonder how old Britney Spears is. 'Cause I remember listening to her as a kid, you know, liking her younger music, and just wondered what she'd been up to. God damn, this woman, you would think, you would think that, you know, I remember back when the last album she come out with before she had the deal where she cut her hair off, all that wild stuff she was doing. I don't know. I mean, the things that I've seen, she's had to have people over. She's had to have this thing where, you know, the courts deem her unfit to take care of her kids or whatnot, and all this stuff. And no, she wasn't on drugs. She was just doing. She was just doing. So I can't even talk about it. She was just acting a fool, which what got her attention, what got her to be an attention whore, was the first time she got caught. And I read this on the Wikipedia. She had a fight with somebody that she was with or whatever, an argument or something. Anyway, she was pissed off about it, so she had her fucking kid hanging out the fucking window of her car or something, and had one hand with him, kind of like the Michael Jackson story. I remember watching that, and but the worst thing about that is he was actually up in one of those buildings, you know, and if that kid had fell from that height, he wouldn't have survived. But she wasn't on nothing. She was just being stupid at that point. That's what got her in trouble the first time. Then she follows it up, probably does do, you know, I mean, look at the damn, for God's sakes, every fucking teenage whore that you could find on them fucking, you know, TV channels back then, on MTV and everything, from Christina Aguilera to Britney Spears to, you know, a lot of these other fucking, you know, young ladies that were nothing but fucking attention whores, gets out there and they can't seem to put the, you know, thought together that their celebrity is only because they happen to have the right thing happen to them at the right time or at the right place at the right time, however you want to say it. Most cases. And a large portion of most of them's problem is they got too much money. They don't know how to do what I do, which is give a lot of it to charity and people that need it. You know, if you need you a good house, buy you a good house. Buy you a good car or something. If you got kids, buy your kids something good once in a while. Or something. But the thing with a lot of people, and it goes back to why I'm bringing up celebrities, they have the same problem these people out here do. It's in a different way, but they're attention whores. That's why my wife can't fucking seem to go outside, because they just have a fucking problem up here in their head. They think that every woman that walks out here on the streets wants these fucking attention deals. It's like they got that disorder, attention deficit disorder, or whatever you call it. Disorder that it seems like they have it on purpose. Not that they've ever been diagnosed of it. Hypertension deficit disorder, or whatever it is. I think they got a lot of problems. Because you can take any celebrity out here for the other reason, and you can take one of these that don't have nothing like a celebrity, but they're just as bad. So I haven't experienced it on the celebrity's behalf. Twitter, I didn't know whether these were real people or not, because even if, like I said, I'd had to have somebody standing here. If I had them standing in front of me, I could have told you. I don't go by Texas, and it could be anybody, But no, it's just got to the point where, you just can't be the way you'd want to be. And trust me, me and my wife have said it, we want to be, able to be nice to somebody good, and somebody we were looking to hope to have one day. If that person came, of course. But it ain't going to be like we're going to just add to it and add to it. If they had family or something, that's one thing. Yes, you do what you need to do there and meet everybody, talk to them, if that comes to that, yeah. But, I'm not going to, if that ever comes, if it does, then that's all it's going to be. There ain't going to be no hundreds and hundreds of friends. There ain't going to be no, there ain't going to be, nothing like it. It's not us, and that's something that they would have to understand. Me and my wife's not attention whores. We ain't out there trying to get attention. For some reason or another, like I said though, but I've addressed it, it's just because she's the opposite sex is my main reason for getting a lot of the attention. Even though she don't want it, that's probably why it is. Because for some reason or another, it always was comfortable. And you see it's a lot of entertainment, a lot of movies. But they always have more women on these movies than a dozen monkeys. And they always see them on there. Most of the time it's, these little cliques and little things like you see all the time. Well, it happens out in real life too. And for some reason they think that, it's okay to, do one way and do the other way, and, mistreat the other person, treat the person they want to treat good. How do you think that's going to work? It ain't going to work, because not with me and my wife it ain't. I've seen a couple times where they have been a couple of times somebody's tried to play Splitsville on me. Me and my wife both spoke up about that. That's why we don't fool with couples. That's why we don't fool with anything that we know we're not going to take, and it's less than what we want to take. I'd much rather, see somebody with nothing much but just, a good mind. Somebody you can talk to, somebody that would have some music or be willing to try it. Maybe somebody out there ain't heard of some of our music, but maybe they'd say, you know what, I'll try it out. Actually, one time I had that happen. One time. Now, I don't know that they never heard of it, but they wondered what I listened to, and I took a CD with about 30 songs on it, or a couple of CDs. I might have took a couple, but I had that one song that's called Hair of a Dog. Y'all messing with son of a bitch. you know. And it kept doing that. And it had this, it just had a good beat to it. Had one of those things in it where you breathe into it and it makes all this noise like wow wow wow. I can't do it as good, but then it's man, it's bobbing their head to it and everything else. But like I said, it has to be a person that, like I said, you could reasonably compromise on their end, and they can compromise on things on our end, and it be somebody that ain't full of themselves and don't take me or my wife's personal views the wrong way, and doesn't take us wrong for not working or take us in the wrong way of our handicap or something like that, Well, there's reasons why we don't drive. There's reasons why we don't do a lot of things. There's reasons why we don't work. The main one being because people don't know how to be, at a workplace. They don't know you can't trust them with your job. You can't even hardly trust them to do their own job, much less, have people basically what you'd say is have people under basically a contract. Yeah, it's not like in wrestling or professional sports, but basically if you signed on the dotted line, you agree to come into work and be there on time or as much as possible. If you can't, you call in, You call in and you let somebody know. But you can't even trust that anymore. I mean, you get to where, like I was telling our landlord the other day that was up here, I said it gets to where you can't trust nobody. But, on anything. But no, we're still open for this thing. But, we ain't just gonna sit here and be run over by nobody. And we shouldn't have to be. I gotta get me some hot chocolate. Oh man, good old hot chocolate. But I don't know. You people will make good onions word to make sure that everybody that does everything ass backwards is a clique, and be nice if somebody actually, instead of taking offense to what I'm saying, because y'all know it's true, instead of making you butt hurt, I wish you would apply it the other way and realize that we're trying to help people. We're not trying to beat y'all up. It may sound like it, but we're trying to help people get away from the politics and the news and all these. I laughed at this when I saw this. When I was reading up on Wikipedia about, that's one other thing that Britney Spears thing. They had a movement a couple of years ago saying free Britney. And it's like, what the fuck? Free her from what? She needs to be locked up in an insane asylum somewhere, probably. I mean, her problem is, like a lot of them, like I said, their problem is they get too big for their britches. I mean, goddamn, a judge, from what I know, this is all out on Wikipedia. One of the other things I found funny was she fucking had these people where it was a little bit before the pandemic thing. And she wasn't allowed to go nowhere hardly. And when she was, she actually had to have people look over her finances. And her father or whatever was supposedly at one point, after he got control of all her financial things and her what they call assets, he fucking does something, tries to keep her in the house, tries to forcefully keep her in the house or something. And I'm like, if she just fucking behave and act like, she's 39, by the way. And if she just act her age and act like a mature person, she wouldn't have half of this shit that happened to her. If she'd just do what a normal person should do and act their age. They know what to do. They do this stuff to get attention because they ain't enough for them. As it is, you'd think all that music and all the touring and all the... Well, see, they used to always do a commercial. They had Pepsi and Coke and all them other companies would come out, and I remember those as a kid. And, I mean, if you let people control what you're doing and you let people mentally fuck you up, and then next thing you know, like my wife was going to say, they get into a lot of the celebrities start dabbling into drugs or some form or drinking or something. I mean, my God, anybody would pay to be Britney Spears right now. I mean, if she was in her good form and always stayed to be good. But the problem is her looks was a lot of her problem. She looks too good and it probably went to her head. Fame went to her head. Like I said, if I ever got famous, though, in any form, and I would give most of it away because I wouldn't need it. I'd give it away to somebody good. But it just goes to show why a lot of these celebrities don't work and it's not good to be fans of them because they do shit on purpose, to get their little attention. And, if they just stay straight, like Britney was there in the beginning, and I remember one time they flipped when she had one of those songs called I'm a Slave for You. Well, that's, she wasn't trying to be a kid image kind of thing. It wasn't like she's writing child book songs or something. She just happened to have a couple songs that resonated with what everybody thought of her at the time was a teen pop star. And they made her sound like she was somebody that the kids could look up to. I didn't quite feel that way. Even looking back at her after looking back at her now and seeing what she was now to then, whatever, back then, yeah, she was probably 19 or whatever she was back then, or 18 or whatever. And whenever she first got famous in 98 or whatever it was, she did all right for the first little while, but it also goes to show that if they think, they can get in there, because when she gets about 50 or whenever she gets up there, in about 10 more years or so, she'll start looking back at some of this stuff and she'll, now she is out of trouble, but, how long is that going to last? But, it's like I always used to tell my wife, when these people get uglier on the outside, maybe finally, when the age finally takes over and the looks take over, and they ain't got those $1 million looks. Not everybody that looks good on the outside are bad people. They some smart ones out there. But a lot of it, combined with, the fame and the fortune, kind of get, people like us. And I just don't see no reason to stick up for them. Because, I mean, they did this shit on purpose. And I've only brought up about 2 people. I could go on and on and on. People that just have no self-respect for nothing. They can't handle the spotlight. I wouldn't want to be out there, all the time either. But, I would relish at the chance to just make a record inside of a studio. It wouldn't be that hard for me to, make a record inside of a studio, but it'd be a completely different story if I was trying to get out there and sing karaoke or something out there and, singing my songs out in front of about 10,000 people. That'd be a different story. But I think if you kept a lot of these people just to where they can make their songs inside the studio, which is what a lot of the times that when she's in trouble, that's all she can do is make songs inside the studio pretty much. Or if she did go anywhere, she had to have somebody watch her. Which, that's bad when you have to have your own family over your stuff. But no, me and my wife were just talking about some other things this morning, and I thought, and she said the pastor was mad at her or something, tried to text her this morning, trying to get her all torn up. Well, I've already called him out. He knows how I feel about him. My wife's just sometimes, like I said, she's sometimes like some people want to be nice, and hope for the best, but nice doesn't really hardly ever get you nowhere, and it don't serve a purpose. It might seem like, you'd think eventually that you might get somewhere, but in most cases you don't. So I'm living proof of it, and my wife is starting to see that now. I used to, like I said, back then it was a different story. Your family was better, and a few people that you saw, you didn't have to see them that much. You wasn't around them when you were at home. You didn't go to these people's houses. Like your school friends' houses, you didn't have slumber parties, you didn't, so you didn't know what they was like at home. The only visual you got is what they were like in front of you at school. So they could do anything nice or whatever. But yeah, they like picking on people like my wife because they think they're going to be the guinea pigs. Every time they have one of these little fucking plays or one of these little things, they always end up going to her. It ain't just one particular time. It ain't just, it's been several times they've tried to pull one of these things. That's why I said I'd like to see one of them try me, because one of these fucking people come up here trying to make her go down there and do something she don't want to do. They're going to find out there's going to be some fucking shit go down that they don't want to have happen. They push me too far. I'll fucking have the police out here on them before anything else happens. But, that's going to be his warning for me. Yeah, there's a reason I don't go to a lot of places. A lot of the stuff that, because there's nothing in it. There's nothing in it for nobody. It's church is what I always said it was. It's a reason for somebody else to go out there and get out of the house. It's like if they didn't have that to do, 2 days out of the week, 3 times usually in a week, 2 services on Sunday and 1 on Wednesday evening. If you didn't have that to look forward to, what would you do with that time? What else would you have done? You'd probably be at home, probably cleaning, and you'd probably be at home doing whatever, or at work, or you'd find something, football game. There's a lot of times I used to make up stuff for reasons I didn't want to go. I went most of the time But occasionally when there's like a pay-per-view or something that I wanted to really stay home and watch, some of the times I wouldn't go, you know. But no, all me and my wife was hoping for in the nicest of ways was we was hoping to find somebody, or have them find us, out here. Not necessarily tearing up Jack, but hoping that one of these videos would do the trick. But, there ain't nobody looking for a couple. And like I said, you don't have to be bisexual to be with us, although, that's kind of the terminology that, that's for man, the person that likes a man and woman is basically bisexual. But, you don't literally have to come out and say that. I know that's another thing that crack whore come up here and say, well, I want to tell you this and that, I never had nobody tell me that before that. And contrary to what that person wanted to think, their dad didn't flip because I told the dad what she told me up here. And I told him then, I said she thought y'all would flip if y'all knew that she was that bisexual thing. He didn't flip. I told him everything that I could. You know why I am on the phone? Because stuff that she thought he'd flip out about. I think if anybody's noticed anything, it's the person that's obviously the problem that's in front of me that has their own problems. They don't know how the actual parents would feel because they don't ask. It's like they say, if you don't ask, you're never going to know the true answers till you ask. And every time I kept bringing, and I bring up my dad a lot because my dad, I knew I could go to him and talk to him just about anything. He would never get loud, never raise his voice. You could come to him with just about anything and he would talk. If he could find, what I'm saying is, if he could find a solution to the problem, and as long as you let him reasonably get out what he had to say, he'd let you get out what you had to say. That's what I was used to. That's why when I met the crack whore's parents, for example, I got along better with them because I sat there and my wife watched me, when I first got in there. They had something on TV, they had a movie. We sat there both watching the movie and talking a little bit about, a few things. And this one had a brother that obviously she had to tell him I wasn't into the drugs and the smoking and all that stuff. But, he was nice. He shook my hand, though. We seemed to do all right. It's just that, like I said, though, some people have a harder time taking responsibility for their own actions and some of their own problems. I came out here and do stuff like this. My wife comes out here and admits things that's happened to her or that she's done or that I've done or whatever the case is. But y'all that I've seen, the ones I've laid my eyes on, y'all go out there and talk to her and y'all so goody two-shoes with her, but you can't do that in here. You can't be the same thing as like my wife sees outside. You can't walk up here and actually come to the door and have a good thing to say or a good, well, it's on my mind, Derek. It bothers me. These things bother me too, but if I can find a way to get around that and change the subject or listen to some music or a good movie or something, I'm going to do it. I don't want me and my wife to spend the rest of our lives, with people like this coming out here and thinking that you always have to talk about drama. And yeah, if somebody asks me something or my wife something, we'll tell you if you ask, if you want to know. But I'm not gonna beat you up about it. I'm not gonna keep bringing it up. I mean, occasionally me and her do sitting here because there ain't nothing else to talk about. There ain't nobody here. So occasionally, something might get said or brought up occasionally, and that might actually happen, to a certain degree. But like I said, we can sit here and talk about stuff, and we don't have to. She knows my tone and my voice and everything. And she knows that I ain't trying to run nobody off or nothing. Even when that last one was up there, I wasn't trying to run her off. But she had that in her mind that I was, and that I was just trying to control her, or and at times she, when you tell her things, and she'd tell us personal things, so we go and try to tell her some personal things. And the only thing she could think about was somebody getting in her pants. Well, that's part of your problem. That's why you got 2 fucking kids you can't afford. You didn't have no ways of taking care of them. But some of these people out here that's obviously worse off than me thinks you can have that stuff and somehow afford these kids food and all this other stuff when you ain't got the money to do it. You can't live off fucking food stamps. You gotta have some way to pay bills. You gotta have some way to make ends meet. You gotta have a car so the kids get out and go somewhere or something. But I'm telling you, I like I said, it could have been a different story maybe a year and a half before we met this person. She might have had some of those things and might have been working on some of that stuff like she promised. So she had basically lied to the courts of the law and whoever the judge was saying over his person. So, like I said, she reminds me a lot of my mother. You can't go by the looks on the outside, although my mom don't have the looks she used to have. But she still tries to put on that sly smile and, like she did one time, come over here acting all ugly and I mean, for about 2 or 3 minutes, she acted like she's okay. Well, maybe not even that. Probably about the first minute. Probably about the first minute, maybe 2 minutes, something like that. She come in, she's smiling, and then next thing you know, and there, I got to talk to you about something. I know, it's late, and I kind of figured there's something up because it's like late anyway. It's never good when you get a late night visit from somebody most of the time. It's either drama or somebody's passed away. Somebody, and like I said, if I had feelings for the person and it'd been somebody that I'd been around, my wife had been around and had a lot to do with them, or if it's like this unicorn bestie thing, and we lost somebody we truly loved, of course we're gonna be there and we're gonna, support what's left, family or whatever whatever's left. It'd be wrong of us not to do that. But for people that just come out of the woodworks and make up all kinds of stuff and say all kinds of things, I just don't. I don't play both sides. I either like you or I don't. If I don't like you, then I don't tolerate you. I don't give 1,000 chances out, and wife's starting to kind of get the same way, with people. Because everything that we don't want comes up to us. and stuff we can't handle. And like we was bringing up earlier, about the little wife thing that seems to come around, and he got this. Yeah, my wife tried to go down there and get a fucking job at fucking Boys and Girls Club, and this fucking Stephanie or whatever her damn name was, Tiffany, trying to get in my wife's pants or whatever, trying to get over here and have all this girl talk and all this bullshit that they conjure up in their head when she wasn't necessary. That's why I said, these men, they keep their damn wives at home and quit trying to, I've turned down people that's tried this shit. I don't like it. Because thing is, and my wife and I talk about it a lot, but we get so attached sometimes to certain people. We don't know whether they're married or not, but most of the time they probably are if they're talking to you. You'd actually think that might be the other way around, you know what I mean? But apparently, we had a black lady that did us that way one time. We got kind of attached and had some feelings for her because we saw she smiled at us and was talking to us. And then, oh, by the way, I'm married, So I usually, just basis on that, I usually don't like to look at another person unless I just know that, hey, like what we have kind of up in our mind and our head, comes to light, if we ever get there. Of course, we're still going to try to check on the thing for Tuesday, but, it's up to you people out there. First person comes to be the only one, if you do. But, it's like I said, now I don't have to worry about, people on here, chatting me up, my wife, because a lot of times y'all got a racial problem, you got a politic problem, or you got some kind of problem with, letting all that stuff get in your head, all that stuff that ain't, that's not necessary. And I hate that because there's more to life than religion and politics and some of this other racial junk that people wants to believe is out there and wants to believe that everybody, if somebody has a problem, well, so what? Go find somebody else that don't believe in doing that. Don't fool with nobody that's hanging on to Martin Luther King type stuff, or I feel bad for anybody that's been treated bad or whatnot. But you can't treat everybody like that and think everybody is a slave or a racist or whatnot. Not everybody is. I probably would have, my mom and them would have had a cow if I'd have brought home a black woman at one point or whatever. Because I remember I remember her saying this. I don't remember how old I was or what, but I remember it coming out. Wow, they're supposed to date their own race. Ain't supposed to do this and that in regards to, why if a black woman is what it is, which a lot of times, the last couple of times, except minus the crack whore, but the last couple of times that anybody's talked to me, oddly enough, has been somebody, African American, So the two times I can recall, the one at the pig and the one that we found that found me on the Facebook. Wasn't me. But I don't know, but we don't look at that stuff. Whatever you are is what you are on the outside. You can't, go wrong with that. Everybody, like I said, we got enough problems as it is. physically wrong with us without, somebody else, shooting somebody down or making our day worse. I mean, I generally don't care, for my wife going out and getting her walks in, because that's something she, it gives her something to go do. She goes out, goes see the cows or what's left of them, and she's trying to say, yesterday, she ain't trying to get attention, but it's like I was telling her, it's because of what gender she is. It attracts the wrong ideas and the wrong things end up coming out, because they want to do the whole, girl thing. They have these ideas, or or they just want to sit there and play her and act like they're interested, and then they ain't. You never see them again. And I've proved that quite a bit here as of late, but most time I get on here and I just, to the 4 subscribers I have, I usually just get on here to do one of these a day, or if we got something like that, to kind of just, get it off our chest or something. Maybe try to help some other people out there that don't have to comment. You never know. Because anything you say might actually help somebody, but you can't straighten everybody up, though. That's one thing. But no, I normally get on here, listen to some podcasts, things, or clips, maybe watch some stuff on our channel, but otherwise I don't, or might, yesterday, I was fooling with my Spotify, the music stuff, fixing up my singing list. But like I said, we like a little bit of everything in the music thing. And she'd like somebody that had her lifetime, maybe a little bit common, and, somebody likes her dolls, but, those are big things for her. And our music, my wife and I both like almost all the same types of music. So, so anyway, there's a lot there. We like the Braves, big Braves fan. Still ain't. Freddie Freeman still hadn't got his thing fixed. Apparently, the Braves ain't gonna offer him no more than a year, and he ain't wanting to take it, and I don't blame him. He helped them win a championship, and they ought to give him more money. Money wise, I'd take $18.5 million. That's more money than anything I've ever seen in my lifetime. I'm just upset mainly because of how many years they're offering. They could cut that salary and pay him about. They could pay him, if they wanted to do 3 years. They could do about $15.5 million, or $5.5 million. That's right, $5.5 million to get him 3 years. That would be better than him being on the block the next year after the season's over. It'd give him another couple of years for them to decide, hey, can we, But he's at the age where anytime he could quit, he's 32. If they gave him 3 to 5 years, he'd probably be about done, He might hang on for a year. Then he probably would take a year-to-year contract. But he wants at least something right now while he's still got about 8 or 9 years left to play. He wants something that, it's not about the money. It's about how many years, really. I would, if it were me. Of course, the more years they're going to offer, they're going to say, well, I have to give you more money. Well, like I said, you could take that salary that you're giving him, and you could split it up, in half it each year, and make that kind of a deal. and I bet he'd stay. My God, that's more money than most people ever see in their lifetime. Except for some fucking celebrity, that's got cars like, and these people on TV that obviously get these ridiculous amounts of money. But my God, if you threw $5 million at me or my wife, we'd kill to have that. And you could take that and split it up. Like I said, if $18.5 million is what you're offering Freddie, you could give him about 3 or 4 years. Split that in half. Give him $5 million of it a year or something. And that way you up his years and he'd stay there. He's even said. I mean, that's enough to feed his son, his wife, and what's he got? 1 or 2 kids? I don't know. He's got, how many has he got, honey?
3.
Oh, he got 3. I didn't know how many. I knew he had Charlie. I couldn't remember how many he had. But no, my God, I mean, if you took what, I mean, $5 million, I mean, I couldn't spend that much. It'd be enough to I mean, if you wasn't trying to blow it all, and trying to be like one of these big shots, you could save that money up for, them kids to have some college money or whatever, or an allowance of some kind for, like a car, or maybe they don't want to play baseball. Maybe they want to do something in the entertainment business or something, have something important, You could do that and then some. There's enough money there. $5 million would take care of all the bills that practically come their way. So I can't believe that they won't offer Freddie Freeman something like that instead of offering him that measly 1-year deal that they know he ain't going to take. He ain't going to take an insulting offer. Like I said, it ain't about the money. It's about what but no, they just ain't offering him the money that he needs to. Not the money, but the years that Freddie would need to feel like. I mean, he's not being respected if he's only going to be expected to play next year, and then he's right back on the free agent block again. What sense does that make when they've won you a goddamn championship? They won every bit of the games they had to win. They brought you a championship home, and you bring your star player. He might not be a Hank Aaron like his wife said, Hank Aaron's wife, but he's a nice guy. She said she liked Freddie Freeman, and in a lot of ways, it reminded her of Hank. So for that one's wife to come out and say that about Freddie, that's about as good a compliment as you can get. Nobody. I don't think I'll ever see anybody get Hank Aaron's type numbers. Not for the Braves. I mean, them records, the hits and all that, the home runs, that nobody in their lifetime is ever going to get there. I mean, that would be about like saying somebody could hit a 400 batting average year round in 162 games. Nobody can keep that up. They've been a few come close, but they've been about 10 or 15 points off or something like that. But, and like I said, though, I mean, I was just hoping that maybe Freddie would get at least enough to get up to around 2,000 some odd hits or 2,500. But he's still not got up there yet to the 2,000 hit mark. But hopefully somebody will, I'm sure, offer him something much better than the Braves GM. Lord, it's like I'm saying Freddie did it all on his own, but he had pretty good performance during those playoffs. He hit home runs, he hit base hits. I don't know what more you want from your star player. Defense, he's always been good on defense. He's never had a problem there. I mean, that's one thing I've always said. Freddie's always been good on defense. He's a pretty good hitter, but like I said, at times he gets in one of those slump things. Sometimes he's hot, sometimes he's cold, sometimes he's kind of in the middle. He might have 2 or 3 games where he gets 2 or 3 hits, and then he might have a week where he doesn't do nothing. Or 2 or 3 weeks, and then it's like, but it happens. But it's just an insult to Freddie Freeman at this point. All the things he's been through and all the things you would think. And I mean, you'd just think it would occur. And they sit there and say, well, you got to think about everybody else, Derek. It's on that roster. Well, okay, so who've you got that you've paid $130-something million to on that fucking roster? You ain't got one person that is on that roster, and I don't know what these other Braves are making, but I will bet every last damn thing I've ever made on a fucking paycheck. I don't know what it adds up to, but it ain't nowhere near as much as what these players make. But they ain't nobody. And by the way, Freddie got that deal from the previous GM. This Alex Anthopoulos idiot wasn't there when they gave him this offer. This was John Schuerholz or Frank Wren or one of them other GMs. It's no longer there. So, like I said, I can't believe that somebody would not want to invest even the slightest in coming up with some kind of deal where Freddie could stay there. Freddie has said he would stay, and I believe he can brag forever in the day that he won one of those World Series rings, and won the whole thing, the trophy, and the whole 9 yards. And and this is how you repay him. You had not only him say it, but you had 2 or 3 other players come up there. They didn't have to, but they were up there and they said, "Sign Freddie." Crowd was saying, "What more do you need?" It kind of gets to be a one of these deals where you know that it's like I said, these people that are over that you're depending on to, if Freddie had been bad, if he'd have been some kind of, if he'd been in some kind of slump, if he'd been, getting injured a lot, which he hadn't done that here as I can't remember in the last couple of years when he done that. But he's done everything that you'd want him that you'd want and then some for the Braves. I mean, he had a couple of years there, like I said, where he stuck his wrist out there, and he still does, but they just don't usually hit him there anymore, or don't. Seems like he's gotten luckier and he throwed one up in there on his wrist. But, you know, he kind of has that little hunch or whatever, and he kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. So, baby, I've got to say, what do you want, baby? Oh. Well, I need to put me and you a ride up for the 17th for Mary, don't I? For our thing. So I'm gonna need at least 2 for that. I don't want to take no rides home. Oh, you just want quarters? Oh no, let me see what I got here. You got 76 cents. Yeah.
I'll give you $1.
There's 76 cents there, baby. That's it, baby.
What I gave you?
Yeah. Yeah. That was it, baby. Yep.
I gave you more than that.
No, that's it. But no, you want to put something on your video today? Okay.
Nobody likes me. That's why I'm putting up with it.
Well, I don't do it. I don't do it just like she don't do it to get attention outside. I don't do it to get attention on here. I just do it. We sometimes just do something on just to have something to go back and watch and listen to. It ain't for anybody out here. Like I said, I already addressed that earlier. Everybody else is worried about racist stuff or politics stuff or religious stuff, and I ain't worried about either one of them. Whatever it is what it is. I don't see nothing wrong with just coming out here and having something to go back and look at and watch. It's entertainment for us, if nothing else. You want to come out here? It ain't for none of them, honey. They ain't gonna do nothing. Ain't nobody gonna get on here after I cut them down.
I'm not.
No. No, we're doing this for us, honey. Mainly for us. Here we go. Now. Oh.
Ow.
That's so tired.
Yesterday was a good day. I went to where did I go? Oh, and I went to church, but it was before church. What store did I go to, baby?
Huh?
What store did I go to before church? Oh, I went to Meg's Ministry. I went in there to look because there ain't nothing much to do, you know. You girls, you single women on here, you know, you act like little brats. You don't want to come face me. I don't know why. I ain't done nothing to y'all. That's why I feel like I'm a loner. I feel like, you know, that's why I go to stores because of y'all. You know, you guys are a piece of crap. You know, if you got a problem, then come face me about it. Don't text me and crap.
That one from last time. Yeah, that Facebook.
Yeah, that lady on Facebook, I swear to God, if she wasn't from me, I would have stumped a mole in her ass. Because, you know, she had no right to come attack me over something stupid. That was none of her goddamn business. It had nothing to do with her little monkey ass. And we don't even get on Facebook. We don't get on Instagram. We don't give people money and cars and all this fucking bullshit. We don't get on no damn apps either. So shove those apps up your ass. We don't have no family, no friends. It's just us two, you know. Fuck y'all. If you guys don't want nothing to do with us, that's fine. But if you do and you're single, you don't have a man over you, or you're not married, then bring your little monkey ass down here and confront us. Come on your own. You're starting to piss me off. And I could really get down mean. I'm tired of this fucking bullshit. That's why I go to stores, just to get away from all this goddamn stress that you guys are putting me under. I'm tired of it. I am. I'm getting sick and tired of it. You know, I don't know what this world is coming to, but it's going to stop. Because you know why? Because I know I am better than you single women hiding text me and threatening me. I'm not scared of you. If you've got a problem with me and you say you want to hurt me, come and do it. Because guess what? I'll stump a damn mole in your ass. I can be an SOB when I want to be. I'm tired of it. The only thing I want to do is have a unicorn bestie that's beautiful, got good things going for herself. I want her to come in both of our lives to make us happy. We want to do fun things with y'all. We want to go to the zoo, go to museums, go to water parks. We can go on vacation, you know. I never got to go on a real vacation. You know, I want to go on a vacation with my unicorn bestie. Go shopping. Go see what's out in the real world that I ain't got to go. You know, if you got a job, I'll be proud of you. If you don't, then that's okay. As long as you're in my life and both of our lives, that means more to me than anything else. That, you know, if there's married couples, we're not looking for that. Like my husband said, we're not looking for a married couple. Unicorn bestie, the only thing I want to do is love you, take care of you, cherish you, take you up for dinner, dress you up beautiful. I'll do your makeup for you if you want me to, because I'll do it real light. I won't do it dark. I just want to do something fun with you, like colors, sing, dance, go for walks with you, you know, or you know, we can sit here and, you know, play board games, or we can play dolls together if you like dolls or something. You know, I'm not a real unicorn bestie. I'm not really a girly girl. I was kind of raised like a tomboy. Like, I like NASCAR, and I like baseball, I like basketball, soccer, baseball. I used to climb trees when I was real little. I used to travel a lot. I didn't have a real good childhood because, you know, I was going back and forth with my parents. See, I was going to my dad's one weekend. I stayed with my mom during the week. Then I go see my dad on the weekends because I was in Florida at the time, you know. My dad had to go by what the judge had planned for him to, you know, take care of his kids, you know. And I appreciate that my dad took care of me. And I want him to know that. But when he got on that drugs, I don't want my dad on drugs. I don't want him going to jail all the time. I want him to be a bright person, be there for his kids. When his kids needs him, he needs to be there. You know, I want to call him. I want to text him a little bit. But when he's in prison, you don't get that lecturing. You know, you got to do what the cops tell you got to do. You know, you got a job in there, you know, to make a little bit of money, you know. Or they have you doing salts outside, you know, assignments. But, you know, I didn't get to really have a good childhood. And you're going to say, I want you to know that, sweetheart. I'm not yelling at you or screaming at you. I just want you to understand what I've been through. Yeah, I had a job before I got with my husband. I was working at Tack, Wendy's, and McDonald's. My mom got me into Wendy's, in Knoxville because she knew who the manager was, and his name was Matt, and he was good friends with my mom. He said he would take me in. He would make a room for me. And I didn't like Tack very well because I wasn't hold on making a lot of money. I was making maybe $8.50 an hour. There was a lot of drama over there. That's why I got away from that, because I didn't want a lot of drama. And I want people at Tack to know I'm not mad at you. I was never mad at you. Why I left is because I was choked, by my stepmom. I'm not mad at y'all. I was never mad at y'all. I would never talk bad about y'all behind your back. You guys were like my real family that I work with, that I go along with. I miss where we used to cut up, talk about movies, books, what you did during the weekend. I miss that. Where was that in the past? Where is all that good stuff that I told my husband about y'all?
Yeah, when you leave somewhere.
When I leave somewhere, it's like you guys I know you guys want to go out there and explore, and you change, and you want to explore things. That's good that you guys want to explore things. That's good that you want to explore things. That's what I wanted for you guys to do. I wasn't there to stop the fights or the arguments. You were putting me between that, and I didn't want to be between that. I wanted a real family like y'all at Tack. I wanted a real family that I could call my family. Like you said, we could call and text. You don't have to come see me. I don't have to come see you. As long as we text and get along and call each other without talking about drama, I'll be okay. Because my doctor don't want drama in my life, and I understand that. I'm better than that now. I'm better. I'm off of counseling. I'm off my medicine. I used to go to Hawaii because I had so much stress. I had so much stress on me that my family has put me through a lot of stress. And my husband knows that because I was with him when I was still going to Hawaii for 3.5 years. But, I'm doing better. I want you, Corn Bessie, to see me in real person. See what I'm like. Let's see each other. Let's talk. Let's just come in person. I want to hug you. I want to cherish you. I want to give you a kiss on the cheek. If I want to cuddle with you, when we're watching a movie or something, that I can do that makes me happy and my husband happy. Yes, we're a married couple. We've been together 10 years. Corn Bessie. That doesn't mean when you come in your life, that doesn't mean our lives. That don't mean that you're ruining something. That makes it better. That means we're a whole family. We're not going to push you away. We're not going to let somebody hurt you. We're not going to let our family ruin what we got going. We will protect you. We will, if you got a kid that's calm and good and behaves good, yeah, we'll take the whole package. Like if you could take the whole package, then we'll take your package. Whatever you got, like if you got a kid and you're a single mom or, like that, we just want somebody single. We don't want a guy, that, that you used to be married to coming around and trying to ruin our relationship. Yeah, if he wants to come pick up his kid and he wants to come to the door or something and pick up the kid, that's okay. But he's got to leave. He's got to go do whatever he needs to go do. He needs to be there for his kid. That's okay for you guys to work something out like that. If you have to go talk to him on the phone, you can go outside and sit on the porch and talk to him. Or you can go for a walk and talk to him on the phone. You don't have to go to his house and go talk out your troubles. That's not, we don't want you putting us through that. Like my husband's saying, he's trying to come out here and explain our real feelings that we didn't get to do on Facebook. Facebook really screwed us. And, you know, Cornbusty, I just want you to know how beautiful you are. And I know that you want to come out here. I know you do because I feel it. I feel it from my heart. I do. I feel it. And I know maybe you're scared. That's normal. But the only thing I'm going to do is protect you. I'm going to be there when you need me. I can be your mom. He can be your dad. You know, we want a daughter that we can adopt as family. Well. I got you a picture frame with a birth, like a little certificate. We can put your name on it, and we'll put the date that you came. We'll put that up and we'll hang it up on the wall. Wherever we move to, we'll go look for an apartment. We'll go look for something for three of us. We just want to be a family. We want you to be in a part of our lives. I feel like, Cornbusty, that you're pushing me away. And that's how I feel. And I hate feeling that way. Please, sweetheart, come.
They can't push you away if there ain't nobody out here.
Please come. Sweetheart, please. I hate feeling this way. But here's my husband.
Oh, you done? Oh. Okay. Well, like I said, she pretty well said everything that she could think of to say, that I, either didn't say or hadn't touched on, but no, might get old, but, a fella don't have much more to do except for his usual everyday life sort of things that you do at home. But, people ought to take, there's other, if you think we're the only two that puts something out, maybe a lot of them don't, but I'm not ashamed to sit behind here and talk a little bit and do it. Like I said, we came out and said, me and my wife like to do a lot of this stuff that she mentioned, and I've never been one to really want anything like this till it was like 4 years ago. And, at the time, like I said, when it just crossed my mind, I didn't, think that the offer that came, I didn't think was going to, be a problem at the time. And so it took a while to explain, what I was trying to do. At the time, it kind of upset her a little bit, but, and I told her, I said, man, if we can get rid of all these people that's, hurting us, and, she brought up some stuff that she had in the past, howling around. Problem is, like I said, it's, she was in those areas. It was easy for them to walk up to the house or to go down there, or whatever. Probably one of those side street deals, or where they didn't live too far. So yeah, they were comfortable. They have bigger malls. They have bigger attractions. They have more up there in those states than they do where I'm at. This is the only place I've known, except, occasionally been going to a a zoo or something or whatever. Around here, you don't have no tornadoes and no bad weather of any sort. You have a rainstorm there once in a while. You have a little bit of snow, but it's about probably an inch or inch and a half, 2 inches. Nothing major. No blizzards usually. Only one time, as I can recall, that there was a blizzard, and supposedly it snuck up on Channel 3 and them people up there back then. But it's just, I don't know. I couldn't really say it any better. My wife, she gets emotional. But just like I said earlier, everybody that she fucking talks to or brings up in here, seems like we get, she gets them out there and talks with them for a while, but then they won't come the rest of the way up here. One person that felt the same way we did and matched on our taste in music and some other things like she was bringing up. Yeah, it's not about, it's not like what the crack whore up here was making it out to be. It's not about having sex or nothing all the time or some shit like that. We was just trying to say, hey, every now and then we do something like that occasionally. It's just letting her know, just like she let us know about some things that we didn't want to touch on. That was even worse. In my eyes, it was even worse because, I can't put up with, like my wife said, we can't put up with all that, And occasionally when we do that, if you were a part of us and that's something that you felt comfortable in doing, and we're not going to sit here and make you, but if it was something that, hey, okay, I'm, part of this, you want to do something like, okay. Like I said, we'll be fine with it, but we don't do this stuff out in public. We don't bring all this stuff out. Like I said, she would do the hugs and stuff. We'd do all that she was talking about. I just felt like the last time that we had somebody up here, they just felt like a ghost up here. Me, I said I've never seen anybody make me so bored, and I do too. I just like I said, sometimes I think I got something I brought up or had something come up in my head. Now I think, after all these years, I think it just, I thought it would sound good and everything, but then, then again, sometimes my mind wanders, what have I done? I just thought maybe there might have been something out there about like me and my wife, that didn't have all this other crap crammed up their butts and their friends up their ass and everything else. Like I said, I don't mind meeting and greeting people, but I can't give them credit if I don't know who they are and they won't text or call me or meet me in person. I'm like her. I'd much rather meet you in person than sitting behind a telephone or anything like that, if I can help. But, we live out here in Decatur, Tennessee. There's a little over 1,600 people as of the last count. Don't sound like a lot, but it's more than we've had in when I first moved up here. When I first moved up here, there was probably 600 to 800 tops, So in the 20 years or whatever it's been, 30 plus, we've grown more. We've at least doubled our population. And up here, there's another nice thing. It's very peaceful up here. There might be some people up here that if you got mixed into a lot of people and what they say if you cared enough to stand there and let them talk you into telling me how bad a person I am or how bad my wife's been. It's just hogwash. It's hearsay stuff that they want other people, that they can't be happy. That I can't take care of crack whores. I'm not up for it. It's not my place. It's not my wife's place. It's very, very tough. And unfortunately, you people get mad up here about that. And when you guys wouldn't even grow enough cojones to come down here and come down here for 5 minutes, it might have made her day. It might have made it better. Because the only thing that person was doing was basically, she felt like a miserable wreck. She did not act like a person should. She didn't have, like I said, if it was kids or something like that, she could throw it away. But when time come to, let them go see somebody else, and that was very rare, by the way. But whenever that was the case, 4 or 5 days that we basically had, she didn't act like the person that she did when the kids were here. Well, Derek, I heard this from my wife. Well, Derek, that's her kids, or she ought to play tickle tank with them. She ought to do this. Well, we ought to got something too. Man, my God, we just want to let her in here. I'm not saying she had to tickle us and do all that stuff, but I'm saying we ought to got something out of this deal. And I felt like she just, to me, and the more I thought about it, the one time that we had something about, 9, 10 months ago, February, I felt like, that she's just going to dump us out, and she was leading to that point. I mean, because she didn't have everything organized. I've not meddled into that person's business since then. I've not desired to want to meet with her. I think one or two times she had 1 or 2 things that she wanted to give back to my wife for some odd reason, and she felt led to give her that and go on. But I can tell you, in knowing how people are today, if you ain't got it to want this whole offer, which I didn't really get to present the whole offer like I wanted to. I didn't have everything, said the way I wanted to say it, or my wife had it, put in her mind, or our minds together. And when you kind of bring somebody up here without getting to know them personally, that's kind of what we got, because we didn't give it enough time to let everything sink in to see if she was going to be the one that worked out. Obviously, by this video, y'all can tell it didn't. And it's like I said, it's a hard thing to go through. It's hard to get something. I could sit out here and pray on this video. My wife could get out here and we could pray or say a prayer. And who knows, I'm not much of a religious person, but I believe that, like she said, at times I can go to sleep at night. And sometimes I have these photo pictures in my head of names or just people's images or something, just sometimes it might occasionally pop in there and you don't know why, but they just do. But it's like I said, and nobody was going to help me. Well, they helped. That one time I got somebody to suggest something. I was at school, and I didn't want nobody when I was in school. But the way my wife came was, I prayed about it and I left it alone. And I said what I said. I sat in here, did the same thing, basically. and left it at that. And I didn't tell nobody or nothing. But yeah, we've had a few things, a few shots, and I'm like her. I don't like a lot of the technology, the apps, and all the other things, and you know. But we've had several of those things we tried out. We've tried a few chat lines out that somebody suggested something over in Athens, but we don't go to Athens that much. And there might be a place for people like what we're looking for, but we don't have the time to go over there, nor do I have the money a lot of times. And it would take more than 30 minutes or an hour to get to know somebody. I mean, it don't take me that long to tell mine and my wife's story, as you could probably tell. But it does take a little while. And I guess what we're trying to say in so many words is, it's not like we don't want to get to know what you've been through or your personal stuff, but if you can't suppress it enough to have some kind of fun, and then find some time when we're not doing much, and hey, you say, hey, after it's been a good enough while, a few months down the road, or something, and you say, hey, I wanted you to know this and that, and like I said, if you can talk about it without getting mad and throwing a fit, acting like this person did up here, then like I said, we could talk about anything, and we could put it, once we talk about it and we say what we got to say, all three of us, then we just throw it away. There's no need to keep bringing it up every time you turn around, and that's what I'm noticing. A lot of what I've said prior to when my wife got on here, that's y'all's problem, y'all. Most of you carry on. You worry about things that most of what the world wants you to worry about. And you drag people like me and my wife down because it's all you seem to be worried about is whether somebody's kids have gotten hurt, or whether they got raped or mugged, or whatever. It might have happened. There's things happen every day that I don't see. But the thing is, and I explained this to crack cord. Something's tickling my eye. But no, I was telling her, I said, well, in my book, if they can't put the guy away that did this supposed thing that she brought up out of nowhere, and I don't know that it happened, it's just something she brought up. But as an example, I tried to be reasonably considerate of what I would like to see happen to a person like that. Last thing I'd want done is knowing that this guy's only going to get months or a couple of years in jail, then he'd be right back out. He'd be right back out there probably doing it again, and then somebody else would have to hear it. So what would be the reason to call the cops in the first place? Yes, he would be off the streets for a little while, but he'd just be back out there again. Unless they put him behind bars for the rest of his life, if somebody were to have done that, I don't see no point in it. Like I said, the whole system is a wreck. The punishments do not fit the crimes a lot of times of these people you see on TV and out in this world. There are things you could do and things that are better to do than getting out here and getting caught for something that is wrong and doing it just so you get a little something, a little attention, and otherwise you don't get nothing else gets done of it. It's like I said, a lot of the problem is a lot of you give the wrong impressions. My wife's, or out doing something, or if I'm out with her and out at the store, she and I go in there, we do what we do, we shop, and we go home. I don't have all day to sit in there and hope for somebody different to come in there. I told her that. If I could, I would. But we don't have that. We can't do it. We don't have that luxury. I ain't gonna sit out here and carry on to every fucking person, go up to everybody's door, tell them this offer's on the table. I think it's good enough if we get out here and put it on a video. If you like what you hear and you can handle what you hear, and this matches what you're thinking, or if it's something you want to give a try. Like I said, if everything goes the way me and my wife lined it up and everything, you won't have nothing to worry about. It'd be the rest of your life, whatever's left we got, and whatever you got, we'd make sure it lasted. There's nothing, it's not no part-time deal. It's not no, just one of these things where, oh yeah, in 2 months we're going to just, no. If everything goes the way that we wanted it to, and you match what we're hoping that you'll match us on. I mean, everything doesn't have to be in common, but we'd like to see most of our major things in common. We'd like to see as much as possible. I don't believe in this opposites attract mess. I don't believe in it. My wife don't either. She brought that up here. It's what we got. Somebody opposite of what we wanted. Now we know. Now we know opposites do not work. For a fact. Oh, I know. But opposites do not attract. It does not work. I mean, if you can't put yourself in enough mental state to where you can get along with somebody and reasonably consider how other people feel. And it's not because we don't know how you feel or that we can't relate to you. Just because we might not have been through some of those things doesn't mean we don't know how to go about it and how to tell you to, basically how you can get over it. And we can do other things. Like I said, it ain't that you need counseling. It ain't that you need something written down on a piece of paper or a stranger to go talk to. You need to put yourself mentally in check. You need to be able to, suppress it enough to where it may not never go away, but you could find other ways to make things better instead of just every 5 minutes or every hour on the air or whatever coming out and saying all that horse shit that that you want to keep bottled up, and that somebody somewhere has told you that it's all right to do that. My wife knows now different. You can do other things. Sometimes we watch some cartoons or some other things that we used to watch when we was a kid, and shows that we liked when we was a kid. But there's a lot that it shouldn't be that hard. And my wife, bless her heart, she shouldn't have to. I've told her this may not happen. There's a good chance it won't. Because like I said, we got the world against us, a large portion of it. If we're lucky enough, and the time we decide to end the video, whenever we decide to end it, this might be the longest one we've made in a long time, or it may be the longest one we've made. I don't know how long we're going to go. But, because like I said, it's gotten to this point that everything that that, like I said earlier, that you don't want is something that everybody's willing to offer, which is nothing that's going to get you anywhere long term. Just like that freaking Hazel. People like her all the time, you know. They're mad because we won't sit there and play monkey see, monkey do with them. Well, we did what you wanted to do. If we can't count on you and this goes out to anybody, but if I can't count on you, me or my wife can't count on you when we need something. You know, if we can count on you for the small things, we ought to be able to count on you when it comes to a little bit more. You know, I'm not saying it has to be the most serious of things, but you know, when it's a little more amped up. If I can't go outside the box a little bit and you're not all the way in, there's no reason to get involved in any personal dealings with anybody you know, and there's no reason to, you know. And one thing that I mentioned the other day or yesterday, whenever that video was, is like I said, I would make a suggestion and make it to where maybe it's the best to not tell right away, you know, about me and my wife and everything, and about our situation and what all three of us are doing. If you're out there, maybe just as a suggestion, it would be better if you kind of waited and give it some time and let all of us do as much as we can and talk and do a little thing, you know, go out to eat and do some things on our own. And then later on, you know, when the time felt right, then talk about your friends, then talk about stuff like that. If you text them or something while we're here, okay, but I don't want to just rush through and meet everybody right then. I mean, if you want to, you know, how am I going to? Well, I kept it a secret for a year and a half. As long as I don't have to go around and be seen by them and go over to their house, I could stay, me and my wife could stay here while you go do whatever it is you do with your people. As long as you came back home or something. They don't have to go over the first thing, you know, everything. We need to see how things go and let us get to know each other real good and let things kind of play out and see what, you know, because, you know, I think it would do better, you know, if it's been 6 or 8 months, or 6 months or 5 months, if it's been a good portion enough time and you want us to go over at a gathering or something, I, you know, might think about it, you know, and try to see if I thought it was, you know, if it, you know, get some people's opinion on it and stuff. But, you know, because I don't want to go over there if they going to hog everything and ain't going to give us time to do anything or talk, or nobody ain't going to come up and greet us, shake our hand or do anything. You know, because I've felt that. I know what that feels like. You know, when nobody doesn't do anything. Everybody wants to hog the TV or hog the show. So anyway, like I said, I've practically done everything that, you know, we can do. But, yeah, you know, just probably get off here now and try to eat. But we'll might make something after a while or in a few days or something.